Salutations, guys. My name is RJ Connell of rjconnell.ca, and thank you so much for joining me if this is one of your first time joining one of my live broadcasts. So before we jump in or anything, get down to any work, I want to ask you guys, what's one of your favorite shows from the 90s? If you have a favorite, go ahead and type it in, or if you have multiple favorites like I do, then just share one of them. So one of my favorite shows from the 90s is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I can watch that show time and time and time again. And I always do. So that's just a little bit about me. Just wanted to share something about me. But why we're here today is to talk to you guys about your money. That's something a discussion I want to have with you guys today. And so I'm an income strategist. And what that means is I help millennials identify what their skills are and then use their skills to create income on their own terms so that they can take control of their money and create and live the life that they want. So that's what I help people do. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. Just a little bit about that and kind of how you can move forward and start to take those small steps today. So this broadcast specifically today, and what I'm going to be sharing in this video, is for people who maybe your 9-to-5 job isn't cutting it. It's not giving you as much income as you want, or maybe it's not giving you the freedom of time that you want. And maybe it's just not where you want to be. It's not something that you're passionate about, but it does kind of take care of your needs for right now. But as you think about it, it's not where you want to continue to be in the next 5 or 10 years. Or maybe you want to start a side hustle. Maybe you want to be in a position where you can create your own income so that you have the flexibility that you want, right? If any of those things apply to you, then you are in the right place. So what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today and talking to you guys about is your money and some of the maybe little trends and changes that are going on right now in society that you may or may not have noticed and kind of how they affect you. And then I'm going to give you 3 tips today to help you move forward and start to take control of your income and your finances. So I find that a really big problem right now is that a lot of us have gone to school and like university or college, we've gotten our diplomas and our degrees, but we're working in a job that we could have gotten without those degrees. So a lot of times we graduate and then we kind of take the first job we can get. So it's not always a job that we love and that we're passionate about, or even that is in our field of study, like what we spend thousands of dollars studying, right? And oftentimes too, even if it takes care of your financial needs for now, it might not necessarily be where you want to be. It might not be something you're passionate about, right? And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but if you notice, the jobs that a couple of years ago were easy jobs to get, jobs like retail or working in fast food or grocery stores, those jobs are kind of entry-level jobs for a lot of us. Like as we were starting off in high school, for a lot of us, it was our first jobs. They're no longer as easy to get as they were just a couple years ago. And I don't know if you noticed this, but if you think about like kind of the setup of those jobs right now, there's a lot more self-checkouts. There's a lot fewer employees working in stores. If you've ever gone to a store and gone shopping, especially recently, and you needed to either get something off the shelf or get something from the back, or you even just had a question that you want to ask, I find nowadays that I have to actually search for an employee to be able to help me out. Whereas before, they were always around asking, hi, welcome to the store. Is there anything we can do for you? Is there anything specific you're looking for? And I was like, no, I'm just browsing. Leave me alone. But now I'm like, I actually have to go and look for somebody to help me. So there are fewer employees working in stores right now. And companies are moving towards that trend where they are setting their businesses up in a way that they don't need as many employees as they once did before. So even those jobs that were easier for us to get and were like jobs that could pretty much for the most part meet our basic needs, they're not as easy to get anymore as they once were, right? And so I don't know if you've noticed that, but that's something that I've noticed. And it's why I wanted to talk to you guys about this today, because these are changes that are happening in society and we may or may not notice them, but we're not thinking about is how that affects us, right? And so taking control of our income is so important now more than ever before. And also we live in an age where we have an opportunity to do that because job security is not as guaranteed as it once was, right? So for a lot of us, ask yourself this question: how many jobs have you had in the last 5 years or so? Just think about it briefly. Go ahead and enter it into the comments if you've had more than one job. That's it. Even if you just had more than one. Whereas our parents' generation probably has been working at the same job for the last 10 plus years, if not more than that. So they were able to get into a job, and for the most part they were able to just stay in that position and keep that job. Whereas for us, usually there's a lot of movement around in our jobs, right? Because we usually don't know exactly what it is we want to do. We're not necessarily passionate about what we're going to do. A lot of times it's not paying enough for the expenses that we have. It just doesn't allow us to live a life freely. I don't understand how minimum wage can be so low when the cost of living is so high. That's one thing that I can't understand. But so there's so much more movement for us right now when it comes to work and jobs. And so that's why I'm so invested in helping you take control of your income so that you don't have to rely on somebody else in order to live the life that you want. And so that's what I want to share with you guys today, 3 tips to help you move towards creating a life that you are passionate about and where money is a resource to help you do it, where money is working for you so you don't have to be trading time for money. So the first tip I want to share with you guys today is know your numbers. What that means is know what your current income is and know what your expenses are. And I know that that seems so simple, and it's like, well, of course I know how much I make, and of course I know how much my rent is and how much my phone bill is and little things like that. I understand. However, a lot of us are making money, but we still don't have money. Tell me if you can relate to that, right? Because we make money, money comes in, and then money goes. It's like, if I could use an analogy, it's like money comes in and we're holding our hands like this, and it's literally just falling through. And I can't actually tell you where my paycheck went from the last month. Tell me if you can relate to that. So I'm saying this because as simple as it is, it's something that we often don't do. And the way that I recommend doing that and getting an idea of what your numbers are is by creating a budget. However, I know some of us have an aversion to that word, and we think a budget, we think maybe being restricted, or maybe sometimes it just kind of scares you because you're like, I don't want to know how much I don't have. But you need to create a budget that is realistic. You need to create a budget that gives you permission to spend, and a budget that works towards accomplishing your goals and what your goals are, right? And so that is how you create an effective budget, not just a budget for budget's sake, because if there's no purpose to your budget, you are not going to stick to it. Being disciplined with money is a difficult skill, and it is a skill. Sometimes we take it for granted and think, oh, I could just do it. But it is a skill. It takes time to build, and it is easier to do when there is a purpose behind why you are doing it. So those are 3 things that I want to give you tips for your budget. We're not going to go into how to create a budget today, but if it is something you want to learn more about, then you can head over to rjconnell.ca, just click the Work With Me tab, and you can book a session, and we'll do a financial income analysis. And if you use the promo code BUDGET, you'll get 50% off. So go ahead and do that, but we're not going to jump into budgeting today because it's a whole other topic that requires a lot more time than what we have today. So that is the first tip I have for you guys. Know what your income is, know what your expenses are, be aware of your numbers so that you know what you have to work with. The second tip that I have for you guys today is know your destination. What I mean by that is take the time to genuinely think about and reflect on, where do I want to be in 12 months? What do I want to have accomplished in 5 years? What do I want to have accomplished in 20 years? Right? These are things that we might have an idea of in our minds, but we never actually take the time to write it out and to visualize it and have it in front of us in the place where we can see and actually start to move towards it. Because after you write these things down, I want you to ask yourself this question: am I on track? Whatever it is that my goals are for the next 12 months, 5 years, 20 years, etc., am I on track right now to get there? Are the things that I'm doing right now in alignment to where I want to be? If not, then that's something you have to shift. You need to start to create alignment, right? Because oftentimes we see our goal and we know where it is, and sometimes we know what it is, and we are moving. We're not standing still, we're moving, but we're not moving towards them. We're just kind of moving in any direction because we're so focused on the right now. We're so focused on making sure that we have enough money to pay our rent and pay our bills and pay back OSAP or our student loans, because they're no joke. Once you've graduated and you've gone into repayment, those payments are no joke, and the interest is a killer. So we're so focused on the right now and just making sure we have enough for right now that we're not planning for our future, right? And we're not in alignment and on track towards accomplishing those goals. So that's why I'm telling you right now to ask yourself that question and take the time to really sit down, think about it, and plan it, and then make sure that you start to create alignment. And the third tip that I have for you guys today is to count the cost. So what that means is you need to understand what it is going to cost you to accomplish your goal. And so those are things like, what is the financial investment going to be? What is it going to cost me in terms of money, right? how much time is this going to take me? What's the time investment? And I don't just mean time as in it's going to take me 2 years to accomplish this goal. I mean, like, how much time do I need to put in every single day to accomplish this goal, and every week and every month? That's kind of what I mean by the time investment. And the other thing is, what are the sacrifices I'm going to have to make to accomplish these goals? Right? These are all things that are important to know beforehand so that you can actually prepare. And it also helps you determine if the goal that you're setting, that destination that you're moving towards, makes sense for you right now with where you are in life and with the responsibilities you currently have. So that's why I'm telling you to count the cost. Take time and just really sit down and think about it. Do your research. If it's a goal that someone else has accomplished, then sit down and talk to them and find out, hey, what did it really cost you to get here? Like, what did it take in order for you to accomplish that goal? And just have that knowledge so that you can make an informed decision and a realistic plan towards getting there, right? And so once you've counted the cost, you also want to revisit that destination and then make sure this destination makes sense for right now. And if it doesn't, that's fine. You can still work towards it. Maybe you just need a different timeline towards working towards that goal, right? So that's what I want to share with you guys today. Those are my 3 quick tips for you guys to help you move forward and start to accomplish your goals and really start to think about your money and how that's helping you create and live the life that you want. So what I want to ask you guys to do right now is just head over to rjconnell.ca and just enter your email address, and let's just stay connected. The reason I want you to do that is because every week I'm going to send you a very specific actionable step that you can take towards moving forward. Because I don't want you to just come and watch these videos and be inspired or feel like, yeah, that's me, and you can see yourself reflected in some of these things, but then you don't really know how to translate it to your specific life and to your specific situation, right? And so every week I only send it out to the people who are on my list. I send a very specific actionable step for you to be able to take, and it helps you develop a habit of taking action. So you're not just getting hyped up on motivation and, being inspired, but then you walk away from the video and there's, really no change in your life. I'm not about that. I really want to help you move forward. I take your purpose seriously and I take mine seriously. All right, guys, so head over to rjconnell.ca and just enter in your email address. Let's stay connected. Let's make this happen together. And right now, this costs you nothing to do, right? So if you are able to implement these steps, then when you get to a place in life where your goals actually start to cost you money, you're already in the habit of making sure you take action, right? So get onto that email list and let's just stay connected. And also go ahead and share this broadcast or tag a friend in it, someone who you think that could use this information. If this was helpful to you, and if you're like, yeah, this actually makes sense, and hey, I've noticed some of those things in stores, and I was just talking to one of my friends about that today, about the self-checkouts and stuff like that, go ahead, share this broadcast with them so that they can get some of these tools as well, and so that they can also start to take those steps forward. Be a good friend and share, guys. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm going to be back on Monday morning sharing more insights with you guys and more tips and strategies. So remember to join me Monday morning as well. Guys, I will see you then. And as always, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to live out my dreams by helping you guys accomplish yours. I will see you Monday. Have an awesome day.